gain. Okay, so that's what I'll start with, okay?
Yep.
And then what we're gonna do is we'll evaluate this for possibly pulling the feeder and kind of make a comment about that. And then the other one is, because they're gonna need some more room when this brood hatches out. And let's talk about how much calf brood there is to hatch out in the next 7 days. This is our day 21 inspection, and we have weighed this hive. It's had a 13-pound gain since last Friday, so it's looking really good. Again, Jim is laying the cover to the back, smoking the hole in the top, and we're going to ease the inner cover off and set it leaning against the front board. It's really interesting. This hive has the largest weight gain of all of our bees of the 12 hives. If you'll look down here, just look at the bees looking up. Kind of gives you an idea what's going on. But look here, you can see that white down there? Just look at your hive before you open it. There's white right here, so we know they've drawn out this far. So today we're gonna mark comb that are drawn out with this year's date. And Jim can look down here and there's drawn comb on this side. So we're gonna ease that frame out very gently.
Look at the honey dripping off the back
You
side.
have brood on this side. It's kind of looking like she does.
This is all eggs.
So this is all eggs in here. This is our outside frame. So they have basically drawn out frame number 7. We'll need to pull the feeder here real quick and put a new frame in here because this one has no more room for them to
This is
draw.
all eggs. All eggs.
Both sides, all eggs. And now the interesting thing is, because we pushed everything over, they drew this out a little fat. And one of the things you can do as you go along is trim that off, kind of drop it into the box, and they will clean it all up for you. So you can see what he's got there. They're doing, sometimes you've got to look very carefully at that stuff to make sure your queen isn't over there, because we know when we pulled that frame out that there was eggs there. So you want to kind of look and make sure there's nothing there. Okay, no queen. Look at the fat drone, see? Out here. Okay, we're going to take out the next frame. So look at that, they're starting to cap it. Last week, this was all eggs. Now they're starting to cap about right. They got honey in the corners, it's capped. This is a signal that they got plenty of honey stores. We fed this hive one time.
Look at all the pollen. Look at all the different colors of pollen in between the brood, the eggs, and the honey. Right in here. All different kinds of pollen. This is all eggs. This whole thing is eggs. This hive is going to explode.
So this hive is going to need a second box this weekend. A lot of capped brood in there, a lot of eggs and larvae. Again, capped honey. That's a signal to you that you don't need to feed.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at all that capped brood.
Now remember, there's about 3,300 cells to a side, and you start doing the math and start figuring out what that is. That's a lot of bees going to be hatching pretty soon. Now we're going to smoke these down. They're kind of in our way. Don't want to hurt them. They're being very, very good. Look at that. Capped brood again. Look at that. Now let's look real careful and see if we got signs of one hatching out. I don't see one. Tomorrow you might find a few cells hatching. Don't see any. And we can't ask for a better looking hive right now looking at this.
This is an exception.
Wait a minute, look right here.
It's a new one.
That's a new one. So we've had one hatch. Look at that. See how fuzzy he is, and he kind of walks around like he's drunk, or her? Well, she just kind of going, what the heck happened to me?
And then here's a drone right here. See how his eyes are on top of his head? There's another one right there. Fatter body, wings are bigger.
Lots of pollen right below that honey upstairs.
So you should
Here's
see
another one
some.
right here.
You should see some chewed out.
Yeah, we're looking for that. The bees are doing a really good job. It's still cool this morning, so they're doing a really good job at keeping the frame just lightly covered in bees. See how Jim moves them out of his way with his hive tool to keep from squashing anybody. Again, all capped brood, but again, capped honey on top. I'm looking real careful. Now I'm seeing bees here cleaning. That's a good sign that we've maybe had a hatch there.
Oh, look at this here.
We got a little queen cup right there. See anything?
No.
It's empty.
No.
So I always recommend you remove queen cups and queen cells, just because you don't want to come back next time and have a surprise. You'll notice we're practically the last frame and haven't seen El Quino.
Put another frame in here and take this feeder out.
I'm going to take it out, show them how to do it. Okay, now this one is mostly honey, and I don't see her anywhere, and I don't see hatched bees, so they're just putting away nectar. Again, remember the weight gain we had? We got eggs there, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
No sign of her. No, we haven't seen the queen yet. I'm going to tell you right now, if you did this inspection and you got to this point, didn't see the queen, don't panic. It's no big deal. Put your hive back together. Now I'm going to go grab an extra frame. Jim's going to pry this feeder out, kind of shake the bees out. We'll show you how to insert a frame and remove your feeder. Okay, Jim's kind of loosened the feeder up. What I do when I remove the feeder, there's a little bit of honey usually stuck on it, stuff like that. Few bees hanging around. I usually sit it right where this frame is, and he's going to shake the bees off of it now down in the box. Okay, keeps it from coming up here and trying to sting my face. I'm going to hold this for a minute. Jim's going to slide that frame in. Now we'll want to move this one over. It's mostly honey.
This is mostly honey, yes.
Yep, so we'll put the frame right there. And we'll slide them all over and put our frame in. Now we did not see the queen today. It's no crime not to find your queen.
When you have a lot of comb that's been drawn way out, just be real careful when you set it back in there. Try not to disrupt it too much.
So now we have got our frames coming back in here, and we're going to push that one over a little bit, center them very carefully, watching out for this side. Now we're going to mark our frames that are all drawn out. All 7 are drawn out except for this one right here. So Jim's gonna smoke the bees out of the way. And we write 2021 on the frames. And that's a real, no, not that one.
Oh,
This one.
Oh, this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Now,
There we go. So we have done our 21-day inspection. This is what will happen in County Extension tomorrow. You'll do the exact same thing. And if we need to pull the feeder, we will do that and add frames to it. But looking at what we saw for weight gains, we will probably be pulling, there's only 3 hives here that have feeders, probably pulling them all out tomorrow. Now we're gonna take this one, set it right here for now, and let the bees clean it up. If there's any honey in it or anything like that, there is no syrup in it. And we're now gonna proceed to smoke it a little bit and put the inner cover back on.
one thing that we forgot to mention at the very beginning, make sure you examine this for the queen, because she very well could have been up in here. I didn't see her, I looked, but I forgot to mention that.
A lot of times when you have a hive open, another hive's bee will fly over and immediately the bees from this hive will get a little anxious and chase it off. They get into a sumo wrestling match. We're going to put the cover back on. We're going to update our sheet and everything with the data we saw here. So we basically saw 6.5 frames of brood, because the one side had both.
No, they had both.
They had 7 frames of brood, but the interesting thing was we had close to 5 frames of cap brood, which means there'll be a heavy explosion of new bees next week, and so we want to be prepared for that. We will add a second box to that tomorrow.